Welcome if you just joined us. You tuned into Tech Africa with myself, Kabelo Chabalala. We are going to jump into another interesting conversation in the second hour. We have Kathleen Janse Van Rensburg of satellite product manager at Vox. Kathleen, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well, and you?
Yeah, I'm just worried about how LTE, satellite, and now I'm thinking I often see that LTE light on my phone, sometimes 5G, sometimes 4G. So I'm ready to learn, but also to ensure that we have an enlightening conversation. Just to kickstart our conversation, what are the current market trends in satellite technology?
So the current market trends we see are businesses and household consumers using satellite as a method of backup.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly where the primary internet connection goes down due to cable theft or construction where cables get damaged, as well as load shedding.
Mm-hmm. Now, you just mentioned something that is interesting, and often when you live in a complex where you hear a mass message that will say, "Hey guys, be mindful of your Wi-Fi connection is down." Do these construction people get penalized for always distracting our daily lives? Because I can imagine if they cut a cable by mistake, somebody has to pay for that, of course.
I'm sure they do. Unfortunately, I don't really deal on this the fiber side of things.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure they do.
Okay. So do consumers often choose LTE as an alternative when fiber connections are not available?
Yes, most certainly. However, LTE also has its challenges due to the load shedding where towers go down, and they don't have sufficient battery backup services.
Oh.
So yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
And who would benefit mostly from utilizing satellite technology, and what are the primary reasons for this recommendation?
So mostly customers in rural areas with no fiber or sufficient LTE coverage, as well as users in the urban areas who require backup services that are mostly affected by load shedding.
Do you have an idea of what are these backup services that they have in place?
So it's LTE, satellite services you can use for backup. You can also use wireless services.
Okay.
But yeah, they all just have a limited time on the battery.
Okay, we are talking satellite and everything LTE. It's 17 minutes after the 10 hours Central African time. We're going to take a short break and come back to Kathleen to continue with our conversation. Back to the show. We're still having our conversation with Kathleen about everything satellite and fixed LTE. Kathleen, I just want us to continue our conversation. Satellite connections require separate power suppliers for the router and radio, sometimes making it necessary to use a generator during power outages like we are experiencing load shedding in South Africa. Are there any alternative solutions, as UPS systems do not seem to be effective in this scenario?
So we see more and more customers using portable power stations, as well as inverter solutions, leveraging off renewable energy sources and so on.
Okay. And when fiber connections are not available, is satellite technology or LTE a better alternative?
Definitely, but due to the high uptime demands in the market, where consumers can't be offline, we see hybrid solutions where satellite and LTE are mostly combined as an alternative to fiber. Even though some areas might still have sufficient LTE, your satellite will still become your backup service. We see that consumers cannot rely only on one connectivity medium anymore.
Okay. I just want us to sort of wind down our conversation, and I want to know in a little bit more detail about the factors that should be considered when one making this decision between satellite technology, the LTE, or another alternative.
So at the end of the day, it all depends on where you are. Mostly in your rural areas you will only have satellite connectivity. If you are in an area where there is fiber, then fiber is still your number one connectivity service. But yeah, if you have an always on a business that you require internet connectivity, then satellite is most definitely the way to go for backup services.
Kathleen, thank you so much for your insight this morning and ensuring that all the business people in South Africa and beyond know which choice to pick under these trying circumstances we find ourselves in.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
That was Kathleen talking to us more about what we should expect in the world of satellite, and also more about what to pick when faced with your LET challenges.